that it hits a late game status, and with the heavy engaged champions like Graga, Zac, and Galio that typically are the ones responsible for eliminating Caitlyn and putting her out of position, being so often banned, you just see her go uncontested in fights, and it just hurts to see.
Insta-ban by Ever8. No more Caitlyn for Prey.
Enough.
Another Rumble ban here against Helper. And Fiora going to be banned out in the early stages by Ever8.
Interesting ban there, Fiora. Khan, obviously, he's been receiving quite a few of these ever since he showed the Fiora against SKT, and for a good reason. That was with his mechanical prowess. When you play a champion that is with such a high skill cap as Fiora, it becomes difficult to deal with if you don't have the right champion for it, and it's often troublesome to draft the tools to deal with it, because Tahm Kench is what I imagine would be the best champion to deal with Fiora, because not only do you have a solo laner, because your solo laners are going to get outskilled by Fiora no matter who they are in a 1v1 scenario, so you just need TK to be able to provide a global threat to make her back off from turrets and not have as crazy pressure. But Galio still remains, and you know you got to take it. It's been taken, it's done.
I was wondering if Ever8 was going to third ban Cassiopeia in hopes of making it, okay, you can either give us Galio or Zac, but then we saw the Zac ban into the Cassiopeia, baiting Malrong into an Elise, and then I guess BDD just plays Galio?
Well, BDD has played into Galio. I believe he played Lucian into it, but, well, it's a freebie here. You just go for it. It fits their playstyle perfectly, and now that the jungler has been selected, Kuz is not going to have any troubles taking Kha'Zix for this matchup. And now it seems like Ever8 is playing right into Longzhu's hands, and just comfort all around for them. Ashe, Galio already.
Yeah.
You know there's going to be either a Renekton or a Jarvan into the top side that's going to make it a nightmare. And I hope that in this next rotation, Longzhu secure either a Tahm Kench as their crazy important supporter, make sure that the top laner is removed to not give an opportunity to Ever8 to start banning those champions away.
A lot of pressure here on Malrong with the first pick, Elise, giving over those two comfort picks, those two very strong picks for Longzhu. I mean, you better have the best Elise performance that I've ever seen here in LCK, because they need that. And, well, you were talking about the Tahm Kench.
Yeah, so a good deny there. It will help against the arrow, but I think that Longzhu would care more about the top side here. While you can expect Ever to ban out support pool in the next rotation from them, oh, they're just going to go with full-on solo lanes, it seems. So not trying to give anything away, just ensure that you have the strong core of your team from the get-go and play a little bit more adaptive in the second half. So I like this style from them. Both would have been effective, and the Lucian ban comes out, so I love this ban as well. It would have been your expected pick into the Galio, so making sure that the Galio does not meet Lucian in the mid lane, and it would have synergized with the composition when we have the utility that both Tahm Kench and Elise can provide with a double AD carry lineup. So smart bans from both these teams coming out, and Renekton, perfect sense, and hopefully a Jarvan and maybe even a Thresh. So it's up to them to decide what the priorities are going to be. The Thresh wouldn't make too much sense as Tahm Kench has an easy time in devouring anybody that gets hooked. So I would prefer to see the Jarvan ban coming out from them.
Yeah, I do like the idea. What will be the second ban here for Longzhu? It's what we're waiting on. 4 seconds.
Yeah, you just go for more mid lane things. Make sure that your Galio is set up for success, and it likely would just be a Talia being taken away from Scepted into this Galio. Of course, there are tons of other picks that I'm sure teams have been testing out in the scrim rooms to make sure that they are prepared to let Galio go through, as we have seen it happen so often.
Waiting on this one. It will be the Kled instead of the Jarvan, but still more focus up in the top lane with that pick. And Bard covered here for now.
Interesting on the Kled ban, so they have to be aware that Longzhu is obviously eyeing out that Jarvan pick for themselves. It's been taken so often in the second rotation, but they are just going to save it. I think the 2 bans throw you off enough to wonder what the hell is Ever8 thinking here. Let's make sure that we see their hand before we commit to the top side already. So just playing it safe, and I love this back and forth that you can have in mind games in the draft. It's always so interesting to see.
Yeah, I love the addition of the 4 extra bans, not just 6, 10 in total. And you were talking about Jarvan for Longzhu, but it looks like Ever8 wants to pick that up instead.
It's just going to likely have to be Talia into the mid lane. Oh, Victor actually, so just going with more scaling for them. Bold move. Can respect it to an extent, but Longzhu still have tools in the top set. What are they thinking for top lane here? Rumble, all the physical guys out. Shen is available, but it really would not fit Khan's style to go with such a low damage champion in the top side. And Gragas, well, okay. I would have preferred a carry if they locked it in earlier, but this works as well. Pushing power into the top side, and it's not the greatest matchup into Jarvan early on, but I'm sure they take comfort in their individual mechanical skill to get out of lanes that otherwise would be difficult or near impossible for other players.
Yeah, just thinking about the feel of Gragas into this team of Ever8, I like it against the Tahm Kench. If he can land a cask and just isolate one person away from the Tahm Kench and not allow him to get eaten up, that's a pretty good idea. Also, lots of squishy targets. You got 3 of them on the side of Ever8, unless, Elise goes super tanky. So if you've got 3 good targets that you like to engage on, adding that extra engage there with the Gragas is nice.
And the cool thing is that while Galleon itself is almost enough magic damage to be a standalone AP, when you add Gragas, now you have a lot of magic damage that isn't up front like a burst champion like Victor, but most importantly, it synergizes so well with Cuz. Game 1, we saw these 2 guys just have incredible synergy, killing people left and right in ways that nobody can really pull off to that beautiful extent. But now when you have Gragas and Kha'Zix, Gragas splits up the team, separates targets individually, and who benefits from individual targets more than Kha'Zix, who literally has a range indicator and indicator telling you who's isolated and who's about to go down.
Yeah, so I really like that whole draft, the way it went down. I feel like both these teams have a decent team. I'm very curious to see exactly how Khan and Cuz are going to work this out on the red side. If they can get anything going early on.
If they can do so, they will survive to level 6 and have BDD as their aerial support.
Coming in from the skies is the Galio.
Big boy Galio there.
Superman Galio. No skin for him tonight. Just going plain old Galio. The rest of everybody else going with the fancy skins.
Is that his birthday suit?
Galio?
Yeah.
I don't really know. Could be. I don't know. I don't know the anatomy of gargoyles. Either way, guys, we're going to jump into game number 2, Longzhu versus Ever8.
Shout out to that dude.
Shout out to Prey too, and shout out to this duel with the Flash. Will be eaten up, but he is forced to flash away. Gets the ignite from Gorilla, but definitely we've seen what could happen when you blow Flash on your ADC early on.
Luckily, he does have Tahm Kench on his side, who started Devour, so the danger in the bottom lane is going to be minimized. However, with a flash play on an overextended target, that's not going to make a big difference.
So, already a good lead here for Longzhu. About a minute in.
And Ever will be starting on the blue side for their jungler, which means that Elise does get to assist the dual lane when she finishes her route. And we still have yet to see what Cuz's route is going to be. He could obviously opt to just take a couple of camps and then recall in the red side, which I'm inclined to think that's what he's going to do, considering the early ward on the blue side from Longzhu there, making sure that maybe Elise doesn't go for a cheeky steal. Kha'Zix typically a jungler that has a bit of difficulty clearing out many camps early on and remaining healthy enough to jungle. And from the way he's pulling this camp, I'm led to believe that he will be going for Krugs after Raptors and going straight to a base.
Yeah, looks like it. Gets Ecepted here, trying to trade as much as possible on the Galio, but quite tanky. Not sure if Victor really has the same kind of pushing potential against this Galio, or pressure potential, maybe you want to call it, as the Cassiopeia did.
No, not early on. And Cuz will simply just go straight to the red buff. So the ward would have expired earlier, and it only would have accounted for a red buff start, blue steal off Elise, which would have been super bold by her. Instead, he will just continue to jungle on this side of the map. Still healthy, red buff regen, and maybe we'll see a fight over this Scuttle Crab, but Longzhu has advantage in the bottom side, so Elise would have to be very careful for a collapse.
Already Helper doing a nice job up here against this Gragas, as you were talking about. Gets pushed in early. Just chilling. Looks like Cuz is going to get onto the Scuttle Crab first, whereas Malrang is still doing Raptors.
Look at the confidence with which he goes on that Scuttle Crab. You never see somebody leap in face first into a Raptor camp, but he knows that his team can help him out, that even if Elise is there, the collapse from them is going to be imminent, and he'll have full control of that situation. So playing to the knowledge that is on the map and doing so well means that he can finish the camp a little bit sooner. And 1 second on that Scuttle Crab, 1 second on another camp because you prep it well, buys you a little bit more time, and that time means that you might be able to make it to a gank faster than your counterpart, or the opportunity to get a gank without the chance of a counterplay.
Look at the rotation up towards top here by Malrang, going up towards the doubles, but you do see two members. It looks like they've kind of scouted him out here. An immediate repel, and he's going on to Cuz, but Galio's right behind. He's going to try to get that flash taunt. There it is. First blood going over to the Elise, but this is going to be 2 kills going over to Longzhu. Nice rotation here by Longzhu.
Disaster forever. Malrang going a little bit too crazy for that Scuttle Crab, and that's exactly what I was talking about. Those seconds, that time that allows Cuz to get to the top side of the map a little bit sooner means that Elise cannot finish that Scuttle Crab without being disturbed. He uses the blast cone to jump right in, as we're going to see right away. Surprise, there's an Elise who just used her repel, so chances of her escaping are none. At least they trade first blood, but everybody from Longzhu reacts instantly, and they're able to take another kill out of that.
Does go over to BDD. 1 kill to BDD, 1 to Khan.
And double buffs to Khan, too.
Definitely make that top lane a lot easier.
Man, you gotta feed double buffs to my laner.
Question mark pings going out.
Especially for Gragas. Triple seal, or triple ring into Dark Seal with double buffs. While the buffs won't last too long, the early stages of the laning phase means that the regen is gonna be out of this world when he can just spam abilities with no shame and make the most out of that passive.
Junglers meeting in the jungle, almost. He's coming around the backside, looking for help here from BDD. Malrang does have his flash. Septed will get there in time, and Malrang very calmly doesn't use his flash, just gets out of there.
I love the moves there from Longzhu, going for the 2-man invade, trying to surprise the Elise. Intelligently, she is jungling at the edge and making sure that she's not just stuck in the Raptor pit to get collapsed on, so she has an escape route that allows her to not die or have to burn the flash. There's heroic entrance and teleport on this play, but a ward did get placed down that just got pinged.
Yeah, they do that back ping. They know what's going on here. Duel and Ella playing extremely passively. Malrang making his way up the lane into the brush, unscouted just yet.
Here's Galio.
Do still have an opportunity to force this in. The ignite onto Duel. Gorilla tanking that turret for now. The teleport coming on in. Cuz going for the kill, but immediately gobbled up by the Tahm Kench. And it looks like only Malrang is going to go down in the fight, but a big opportunity for Longzhu to get that kill, looking for the turret.
And Ever sees it coming, but they still don't respond. They let it happen. They let Duel stay under the turret instead of trying to get out as quickly as possible. They had an opportunity as soon as the ward went down, but they did not want to give up that ward, and as such, they will end up giving up a kill and giving up first brick.
Yeah, as you're saying, I mean, you don't want to just let it happen if you know it's coming. Like, you have to respect this Galio once he hits sick. 6, rather. You have to respect the dive potential.
Their opportunity for getting out of this was much sooner. When Galio was still in the mid lane and the wave was still not a turret, just accept that you're going to lose the wave. Because anytime you look at this game back, you're going to be thinking, well, would I have rather missed the wave or died and missed the wave? The answer is always, I would have rather not died and still missed the wave. So the result, as much as long as you can get, and now they're in the driver's seat and have the tier 1 in their sights, and that's also going to be a herald for the time that it spawns.
Yeah, they've got to be feeling pretty good about their position right now after that dive. Have to, you know, as you were saying, just back off, bait the TP out of Khan, give them the turret. Maybe they get a first blood turret, but you get your own in the top lane, perhaps.
It's just so hard to do. It's, you know, you've been in that position a million times before where you know you have to back, but when you think about it, you're just willingly giving up something. And if you're not in that position to take anything in response, it's like admitting that you got out-rotated, that you got outplayed, and it just feels so bad to do, but it's the right move.
You have to against Galio.
Yeah, but it feels so bad. That's what that's the teams. It just feels bad.
It feels so bad, but it feels so good.
Yeah.
When you don't die and you keep up with Longzhu, right?
That's why these decisions happen every time.
Yeah.
Here's Kha'Zix surrounding the dual lane from Ever, who smartly answer the top side, but another ward gets planted behind them. Teleport from Galio isn't quite up yet, but Helpers is. Yeah. Oh no, the two-man squad.
And Heroic Entrance is getting close, but they're looking for the hook first. Man, I tell you, the challenger move, you just walk straight. You don't try to dodge, because these top-level supports, they'll always think that you're going to dodge. They always try to predict, go for the 200 IQ play, but if you just walk straight, you're outplaying them.
It's when you're so deep into a field that it is impossible to return to the base level of it, so staying still, the most unlikely choice, ends up being the right one.
Malrang attempting to get some vision, but Cuz, level 6, jumping on him, going for the flash. It looks like his Q didn't get off from the flash of Malrang, who gets out of there. So trading flash for flash.
Good flash there from Malrang, and great use of the ultimate from Cuz to close the gap onto the Elise while she was in spider form, clearing a ward. The ward still remains, and they know that she has to base, so they're just going to get that Herald as soon as it spawns, and without any pressure in these lanes, this one should just be a matter of time.
Okay, the hook lands now, will be gobbled up by Ella, but already at about half health here is Duel. Makes things a little bit scary, and definitely makes it so it's harder to contest that Rift Herald if they knew it was happening.
They have no chance of doing so, and Malrang continues to jungle in the opposite side of the map, just trying to get some camps, while Cuz following the dual lane 24/7. Even though he's a level down, the advantages remain in the bottom side from Longzhu, so he's just catering to that. He's playing a bit of a supportive Kha'Zix and trusting the base values later on, and now the reward is that Herald.
Yeah, they get the Herald. Nice cocoon there from Malrang, but I think Ella is still going to go down here. Nice hook for the follow-up, and Gorilla, the bloodthirsty support, he strikes back.
Just a toad out of water there. Not sure why he's going into the river that is controlled by a heavy amount of control wards from Longzhu earlier. Not right now, as they have actually cleared up the vision once he died and once everybody left from Longzhu's side. But before, the reason why Longzhu's doing Herald is because they have full control of these lanes. If anybody is to come in, they will likely die. And Ella decides to challenge that and ends up paying with his life.
Yeah, it's perhaps just the feeling of desperation, like you want to be able to do something, but you know you can't, but you go for it anyway. Perhaps a similar negative feeling to what we were talking about before.
Well, that just sounds like insanity.
Just going in,
yeah,
dying.
You know you're gonna die.
But if you can get that tongue lash steal, then, you know, you bring your team back.
Licking's not everything.
Yeah, it's true. There's a lot more to the game.
Like using Devour, which is like your main ability as Tahm Kench. Nothing else. Your Devour, your Abyssal Voyage. Actually, pretty much every ability of Tahm Kench is quite important to use. A good use, a Tahm Kench that messes up his tough skin is a pretty embarrassing frog.
Well, Ella, we said he was a better replacement for Comeback after the failed comeback of Comeback.
It's still too early. I still want to give him a chance.
Mechanically, he seemed a little bit better. Nice cocoon here onto Cuz, but again, heroic entrance makes Cuz invulnerable, so he can just run away from this. But the collapse onto BDD, who does flash, trying to come in here with the taunt, but look at this helper all the way up in the front. Really nice taunt to make sure he cannot flag and drag. Meanwhile, Malrang all alone, and the rest of Ever8 on the run. And they set up another kill. Nice flash here from Duel to get out of the cask. And a double stun there by Victor. The flash body slam by Khan. They're looking for more damage here. Not sure if they can actually catch up. Big slow for that Chaos Storm, zoning out everybody for now.
Well, the Chaos Storm started on the opposite side of the fight, so Septed using it in the same moment where he flashed out of the body slam from Khan with flash. So a little bit of a panic ultimate. But however, as soon as Helper went down, they didn't stand much of a chance in this battle, but it was so well played from Longzhu. It looked like they were the ones getting collapsed on after the use of the cocoon and heroic entrance onto the Kazakhs, and now they're in a position for this mid-tier 1, and it's going to go down.
Yeah, they will get this mid-tier 1. Heroic field does come down. Doesn't look like there's any more pressure that can come out here, so just going to go for that. And the Abyssal Void's up in top, Cuz will escape. Okay, the Abyssal Void's just to help out in the defense of the top tier 1. Dual lanes going at it.
Now there's still the Galio teleport, and there are wards in the backside of Ever here. As long as you have a play open if they choose to take it within the next couple of minutes. It's those little things that you have to consider every time you make a play in the jungle. What vision was left over, and how can it be used in the upcoming moments? Here it is. Heroic entrance gets popped right away, but the teleport is immediate from Helper, and the collapse is as well, but the taunt from BDD is going to keep Malrang from doing anything. They blow so much CC, and right when he tries to get out, the taunt is there as well. So arrow, hook, play, taunt, you're not tanky to survive that, not at this stage.
Yeah, not yet. And nice engage follow-up from Khan, the double stun on the body slam. And as you were saying, just the Chaos Storm. I think he pressed F and R at the same time. That's what that looks like.
You know what a good way to troll somebody is actually? You're in a video game. You know how you get told, press Alt F4?
Yeah.
Well, you can also press Control W, and that will do the exact same thing.
That only works for browsers, Crumbs.
Yeah. That's for like when you're playing RuneScape on browsers.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Good tip.
It's still fun.
You guys can use that in the Twitch chat. That's definitely a favorite that I've seen every once in a while.
Control W for this emote.
For fancy WTF.
That does make a fancy WTF.
I love using fancy WTF in my chat.
In the meantime, Longzhu did secure that Mountain Dragon, but Malrang is a little too quick. So many mobility items on Elise between her ultimate, tier 2 boots, and Halo Wisp. She's faster than most other junglers.
Yeah, now Ever8 just sitting back trying to farm up. Baron isn't for about 4 minutes. They're looking for picks. Nice arrow there from Prey. That's going to be a kill onto Septed. And good follow-up by Cuz, coming in there, believing in his 80 carry.
What?
Making it work.
Look at the timing on the cleanse. Like 10 seconds before it came back up with just incredible precision there. Ends up actually finding Septed after he procced Siphon Power, so he's moving faster. Wow, that is such a precision.
What a beast. They don't call him the Ashe player, the main Ashe player for nothing. This guy can hit arrows.
The main guy.
The main boss dude. That is basically what he is here on this Ashe. I think he was 6-2 before this game. Looking to make that even better. Hooks coming down. They want double tier 2s. Helper's going in. A nice combo onto all 4 members, but again, he's not tanky enough. Heroic entrance, and oh, the follow-up hook here on the Duel. Do they have the damage to take him out? That volley, just barely not enough. They do take out the Frog, though. Lots of low members. Looks like Malrang is going to trade back 1 kill, go for the repel. Double kill and a flash away, so Malrong beginning to style a little bit with his mechanics, but just trading back a little bit.
A fencing-like battle in the bottom side, and it all happened without Victor being there, so they engaged a little bit too soon. You saw that they were able to clean up 2 members of Longzhu once Septid made it into the mix. The turret could have gone a little bit lower before the engage happened, but Ever played it decently, kiting out back and forth, trying to keep Longzhu interested and trying to go for the dive. They commit, and at least they trade some kills and save the tower, so at least Ever is showing some semblance of a fight.
Basically just making do with what they can. Nice engage here from Helper onto basically everyone, but again, he's not that tanky yet.
It's those milliseconds. A second earlier, if Victor was here and would have been able to combo as soon as Duel gets knocked up, chances are he wouldn't have taken that much damage, as the threat of Victor would have been imminent. And it's those little things that end up making the difference in living or dying.
Good play by Malrong to salvage the situation to some extent. Double kill, but Longzhu's still ahead, about 5,000 gold. We're still very early on in this game. Longzhu really just trying to accelerate it out of control. They were looking for double mid-tier or double tier 2 turrets. And they almost got it.
While the gold isn't quite there in their favor as a crazy lead, only 5,000 gold, it's them that have been starting every fight. Every fight comes at their decision, so they get to pick what fights are being taken. If they overcommit or they don't, that's up to them really, but it puts Ever in a defensive situation, and you never want to be reacting to your opponent quite this much, and that's a sign of a good team. If you can force the enemy team to dance to your beat, you will always find more success.
I was eyeing this engage. I was actually watching Prey on the right side. He still has his arrow up here. If a hook could have landed, we could have seen a follow-up potentially with that ability.
At this point, I think we can just expect him to land the craziest arrow. There's no arrow that doesn't seem possible for this man. It's like that blonde girl or redhead girl from that Disney movie.
What? That is so vague. Who's the redhead?
The Archer girl, you know, where they're showing off their CGI on hair.
Yeah. I don't think I ever saw that one.
Oh, me neither. That's why I didn't know the name of it. But I think if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about.
The most vague reference ever made on an LCK broadcast.
Not that vague.
Oh, man, Malrong. He's going to get taunted over the wall. Thankfully, Ella is in position to gobble him up.
That could be enough damage for them to decide to start a Baron. Oh, no way.
No way. No. Malrong, he sees it coming. That was still close.
Yeah, close call, but now they don't have arrow to turn, so they'll have to think of a creative way.
Well, this is one way to do it. Poor Duel, man. He is going up against the world. Septid and everyone caught in the Cataclysm. Helper playing for Team Longzhu tonight. Gonna net them 3 kills, and that should be the easy Baron for Longzhu.
And the fitting name to do just that. But yeah, the bait comes out right away. As soon as you chunk up the jungler, the biggest green light to start making a play around Baron. So Ever don't hesitate to face check and immediately pay. Would you like those in
He's auto-attacking the Baron, taking a little drink of his drinky.
Would you like that in a extended plan or all the payment right away? It's like, no, we'll give you all the deaths on Baron in one lump sum, please.
We just like to exit. I just want to watch this again. Sick engage. Hook comes in onto Duel. And then this Cataclysm, man.
This is in the back.
Ella brings in Malrong into the Cataclysm. Septid's in there as well.
You're part of the soup.
He's helping, man. He's helping. He's had enough of these games. He wants out.
He wants out, but he wants his teammates back in.
Well, Longzhu looking to make this a quick night. We're accelerating these games out of control. Already have one under their belts. They get double dragon. The Baron's up here. Looking for more turrets.
And now they have a 1-3-1. You've got Galio that can assist top and bottom. You've got the TP on Khan. don't have any wards over the wall just yet. They just placed one down, but it is disabled by the control ward. So they'll just patiently wait for the minion waves to start knocking on some turrets before they fully commit to a crazy dive.
Prey very confidently, just almost begging for it. He's like, yeah, I dare you to engage on me. See what happens.
I mean, with the way he's positioned, have you seen?
Maybe in that
it's
situation.
It's a 10,000 gold lead in 23 minutes. It's pretty over for Ever at this point.
Whatever can they do? Red buff Ashe attacks the turret once. Just executing 1-1-3, looks like. Galio always nearby, can easily push in the mid lane.
You got a long-lasting Baron as it was just so freshly taken, so they still have plenty of time. A couple more waves in should do the trick.
Yeah, Victor doing his best. I mean, this is what Victor is supposed to do, but when you're down over 10,000 gold, as we said before, not much that you can do.
Gragas does use his TP to the top. He's just going to try to get some cheeky damage onto mid.
Yeah, that he can. It looks like bot inhibitor about to go down. Helper trying to make up for that last play, and the arrow will go through the goalpost this time around. It's a nice dodge by Ever8.
The worst apology ever.
Let me jump in and do nothing.
It would have actually been better to do nothing and clear the way than to get himself chunked, because now Longzhu get the confidence to just walk right on up and take another inhibitor, and that's going to be mid lane inhib going down as well as bottom. All they have to do is just recall, go straight to the top side, wait for the waves, and it should all be over.
I love the maxing out of the efficiency of Khan too, where he's like, yeah, I know we pushed in your inhibitor in bot lane, but I'm just going to push one extra wave, force Duel to come down here. I still have the Baron recall, so I can get on the map faster. And looks like everybody's going to try to go for top lane.
You don't want to give him any chance to mess with the waves and stall out the game a little bit longer. You want to make sure that your waves are going crazy as soon as possible, and that will constrict Ever deeper into their own base. And the closer they are in their base, the less likely they're going to be able to defend against the double inhibitor, as the minions will be too many to handle coming in from two sides.
Cuz has got to be feeling pretty good about his Kha'Zix play. He's been really on point. I think he's sitting at 6-1 right now after this play. Of course, taking 2 wins against Ever, one of the bottom tier teams, is not the hardest thing to do, but stacking those stats. Oh, he's going on to Prey here, who just flashes out and has Galio on the back foot, follows up with the hook. Helper, you're not helping anything this game, man. Big cask onto Duel. Looks like the Chain of Corruption actually keeps Cuz out of it. Septed trying desperately. Just give me 1 kill, please. I just want 1. It's not going to happen.
No gifts for them. Just the gift of salvation by defeat.
The gift of the early ride home.
Oh, he gets hooked.
Okay, that's going to be the near ace as Malrong decides it's better for me to just wait in the pond. That's going to be the easy early 2-0 victory from Longzhu.
Yeah, just obliteration there. Mega killed.
What a match to have on Prey's 5th anniversary. Just totally stomping this team. And we said it before, Longzhu, I was very excited to see them come out here once again. They are one of the 2 teams, them and Afrika, that can really challenge the top 3 teams of the ladder, and making it known that they're not going to act like Samsung and actually give Ever8 a chance. They crush these guys.
And that's what's exciting about them, that now we have a top of the table that all of them are looking towards Worlds, but only 3 can go. But 4 of them are fighting for it. Samsung looks to be the weaker of the teams in it, as they have dropped more games and have looked less consistent against the bottom teams. However, they still almost always find a way to show up, and even in their match against KT, where they have a horrible record against KT of all time, they still went to 3 games, which is at least something.
Yeah. That they do. They gave it their best shot. And Longzhu beat BDD in the last game. He was 2-0-11. So I know there's a lot of talk out there about this guy's KDA. He just added an extra 13 points to the top part of that KDA.
Chicks dig KDA, so you got to make sure you keep it nice and high.
Yeah, and when you're the BDD, you know what that means. I'm not sure if
you know what that means.
I don't know if you need the KDA really to help out with that, but this is just replay after replay
they stomped them.
Yeah, of Ever8 trying their hardest not to get crushed.
When it looked like they had the number, finally we get a TP play. No chance. Collapsing the teleport immediately. And then they turn it into even more advantages with all the summoners they get. It's an arrow. Look at that. From the trees are against Septa. The tree. It's like a little elf.
Yeah, from the tree line. Man, Prey. Sick Ash game on his 5th anniversary. Shout out to him. And again, another good engage, but as you said, Victor, just a couple seconds late. He could have tried to make something happen, maybe burst down Prey, but not happening.
You could have also given up the turret on the chance of a better fight. Just a matter of what you value at this stage in the game. Kills and shutdown gold would be more valuable than keeping that turret alive, considering that they are so far behind. So it's those tiny little things that when you're behind matter, and you need to remain composed, and Ever8 did not do that.
Prey with the most damage. Nicely done. 3 kills away from a perfect game was Longzhu in that one. And we will be hearing from the MVPs very shortly here, guys. So stick with us if you want to get the interviews. Lull 900 damage from Tom Kench. He couldn't even break 1K, man.
No.
Not even 1K.
Oh, that's not a magical frog. That's a toad you find. Like, what are you doing here, Toad? And then you remember you're in Florida.
Golf him off your porch. Poor frog. Well, guys, we're going to be jumping into that interview right now. First with Cuz, who is the first MVP.
So this is your translator, and here we have Cuz for the interview. It seems like you were really happy to be MVP after the game 1. Did you know that you're going to be the MVP? I feel really grateful and thankful. So you played Kha'Zix, which is really hard to play with. Is there any tips? So you can dodge a lot of skill after being invisible, so I think it's a really good champion. So what kind of shackles were in the gaming booth when you caught Orianna? Oh, I knew that she didn't have ults, so I could easily catch her. And head coach said that you're like the MVP of the team, so you should be more confident. So are you feeling better after being the MVP for today? For all the coaching staff and all the fans giving me support, I'm really thankful of them, and I'm getting more confidence. Who do you think the MVP of the set 2 should be? I think Galio will perform really well, so I think BDD will be the MVP.
Well, let's find out who the MVP is, guys. Who do you think it will be? Oh, look at that. It's BDD. Good call again from the first MVP. I wonder how they keep predicting
Nice job,
that.
Brandon.
I wonder how they keep getting that right. So crazy. That was Ella trying his hardest to steal with the tongue lash. But, I mean, I said it at the beginning, you know. Elise would have to pop off. Didn't really. Let's hear from BDD too.
So how do you feel about today's victory? Well, I think we made some mistake in the game 1, but we're happy that we won the whole game. Because you got the MVP right. What made you think that it will be him? I've been doing really well with my jungle, like carrying mid. That's how we got it. I actually think I played mid lane by myself. But as he says so, maybe it's right. Your roaming helped a lot in the early games. Was that a team shot call or your own decision? Well, Galio doesn't really get a lot of damage in the mid lane, so I can easily roam, so that helped me a lot. So you're in the high ranks right now. Are you ready to win other matches? We're aiming to get to the Worlds, so we'll try really hard to get to the Worlds. And for BDD, it's Prey's 5th anniversary. So any wishes for him? Dear Prey, you're getting handsome and handsome. I hope you keep on doing good work. And Prey, thank you for making our team really bright. And I think you're really handsome. And a lot of fans sent us a lot of gifts and snacks for his anniversary, so I really want to thank them and also their love and support. Thank you. And here we're gonna have a special interview with Prey. Congratulations on your 5th anniversary. Isn't it more like meaningful to take the victory like day like this? I can't believe it's already the 5th year of my career. But I feel really happy. Well, you have been showing like consistent performance, but you have missed out some of the MVP points. What do you think about it? I think about me, like missing the MVP, it means the top laners or the mid laners are playing better, so it's a good news. And your fans celebrated your 5th anniversary, and the players are really thankful for it. So, any message for your fans? Well, I didn't get much of a wishes or messages from my fans till my 2nd year of the career. But as long as there isn't many players who played as long as me, like 5 years, I think they're more memorizing my moments. So I really want to thank them. And this was the end of the interview. Thank you.
Thank you as well, Ji-sun, for the translation. And that was cool. We got to hear from 3 members of Longzhu, Prey, coming in at the end.
Beautiful compliments there. Seems like these teams are reaching a level of camaraderie where they all think not only are they great players, fantastic cuddlers, but also more handsome than anyone else. And I gotta say, when I look at this lunchbox, it actually does have Prey with a lip bite. So.
Yeah, he's biting his lip.
Whew.
He's like, today I am the main character. That's what it says there in the Korean. Longzhu, they go up to 5-2. I mean, they're competing right with KT Rolster, Samsung. Of course, those 2 teams a win behind, but they're right behind them, 1 step.
And they're making a case for being a main character in the LCK so far. They've already said it. You heard it here. They want to shoot for Worlds. They've got a long road ahead of them, but with the skill they've been showing so far, it seems quite attainable.
Yeah, I mean, it's out there for anyone, basically, that's up at the top. And
those 4. I wouldn't bank on anybody else out of those top 4.
Maybe Afrika, if they can get their act together. It's still early on, and you know we're about only halfway through, well, about 2/3 of the way through the first half of this split. So, I mean, it's still possible. I wouldn't say it's likely, but again, I said it before. I think either Longzhu or Afrika, if they could just get their game 1
I don't even want to put Afrika in the same sentence as Longzhu. Yeah. Longzhu is on another level. Now, Afrika's disappointment has broken my heart so many times. I need to be loved and respected by a team like the one that
Don't get too hyped up after they 2-0 Ever8, okay? Like, let's see them against a bit of a better team because, I mean, they still have KT and Samsung coming up next Those are going to be two huge matchups that Longzhu has in the future. I'm really looking forward to those ones. Should be in the next couple of weeks that they do play those. I think that's really going to tell us where they're at. Just like we had in spring towards the end of round 1 and beginning of round 2, the two telecom wars, so we really got to see where those two teams at. I think that's really going to be a big tell for Longzhu where they are at compared to those other top-tier teams.
Well, just in play, you see it in the level that they're displaying, the strategies that they're employing, and while it does go against the bottom teams, they dismantle them in swift fashion and reminiscent of the top teams. When you're at the top, you should be able to beat the bad teams. Sure, give up a couple of kills here and there, but if you can do it quickly and effectively, then that means that you're a great team. In 26 minutes for that last victory, only 3 deaths. Average game time is 35.
Yeah, they made it quick, and that was a pretty quick night for us guys. It's about 9:50, and we'll leave you with that. Definitely check in with the OJN guys tomorrow for more LCK, but until next Sunday, we won't see you. Thank you once again for watching. Good night.